Welcome to another episode, everyone. And this is part 2 of the Crip stab of Hoover and the jailhouse erupts in absolute bloodshed. Now, I'm a little tired, so bear with me. I'm probably working a little bit too hard right now, to tell you the truth. The views are extremely down over the last few days for some reason. So bad, I'm thinking something's wrong. So I've been trying to do probably too much, trying to push through that. But, don't get too up. If the views are up, don't get down. If they're down, just stay even keeled. They're going to go up and down like that for the most part. And just get up and be consistent and continue to do your work, no matter what it is. And that's what I'm doing. But bear with me. This might be my last video today because I got wore out. But bear with me. Someone told me in the comments, man, you promised you was going to do a part 2 whenever you did a part 1 for now, even if the views were down. That's true. And I'm a man of my word. Let's get to part 2. So, when I left off in part 1, I was saying that the individual loony from Hawthorne had stabbed the homie in the neck. He had got high off that Christina Aguilera. Went berserk one day inside of the cell and hit the homie in the neck. Go and check out part 1 if you want the rest of what happened there. That's just the gist of it. And now when I left off, I was saying that we were talking to these individuals, some Crips. And we were asking them if they were going to resolve the situation, meaning if they were going to take care of Looney. Oftentimes we give individuals a chance to clean up their own backyard, to take care of their own trash, if you will. And these individuals are hesitant. They are saying, they're essentially excusing Looney's behavior, saying, well, man, y'all know he was high. He was off that stuff. He wasn't trying to hurt him, man. He only hit him one time. They say he only hit him one time in the neck. He just barely scratched him. No, it wasn't just a scratch. It was not just a scratch. It wasn't a life-threatening wound, but it was not just a scratch. And really, that's neither here nor there. He hit him with the thing. And that's all that matters. That's only. So, now a couple of them were saying, nah, man, we'll take care of it. But a couple of other ones were, again, hesitant, like, man, what y'all expect us to do? Stab the homie? Yeah, because he stabbed the homie. So y'all beating him up or whatever, getting him out of the module is not going to suffice. Blood is going to have to be drawn either by y'all or by us. You make the decision. It doesn't matter to us either way. So since they're just so hesitant about what they're going to do, finally, one of the homies just walked out from where we were at congregating. He just walked out. When he walked out, we all walked out. And when we left out, we began to congregate on our own. And essentially came to the conclusion that these individuals were not going to get another chance, that they had hesitated a bit too much for our liking, that we felt like there should have been no hesitation, and that perhaps they have not learned the lesson, have not gotten the memo that the rest of the Los Angeles County Jail has received. So fine. We began to cultivate sinister machinations and make a decision as to how we were going to attack this individual loony. He was in a cell with a Crip. And so the only hesitancy was what was going to happen with his cellie. Ultimately, it was decided that 4 individuals would go inside of the cell, but all 4 were not going to attack this individual loony. Just 2 were. The other 2 were just in there for backup and in case his cellie began to act a little funny. The word was clear. Attack Looney, hit him in the neck, just like he hit the homie in the neck, and if his cellie even so much as looked like he wants to make a move, brutalize him. It was just that simple. So the plan was in place, and the individuals marched down to Looney's cell and got the cell door hit. And all four ran inside of the cell. There was a couple of other individuals outside of the cell, just in case some other individuals came out of nowhere and wanted to save this individual. It was indeed a strategic attack. And they ran inside of the cell, and Looney, per normal, is intoxicated. He's high off of this stuff, tripping. He doesn't even really see what's coming because he's not on point. Sitting lying down on his bunk, just hallucinating essentially, like he was doing when he stabbed the homie in the neck, making the attacker's job that much easier. So they ran in there, recognized immediately that he was intoxicated and would not stand a chance. And they got right on him. Bam, bam, bam. First, they just punching on the dude. He throwing his hands up. He trying to figure out exactly what's going on here. He did try to fight back, but he was really no match. They ended up getting him on the ground. Bam! Hit him with a good one and got him on the ground. Now, it's just two individuals that are on him. The other two are just in the cell, looking at his cellie. They just looking at his cellie. They haven't said a word. When Looney's on the cellie's not saying anything either. While Looney is on the ground, the blicky comes out. Someone draws down and hits him. First, like he see it coming, and like, I witnessed the whole thing. He lift up his shoulder and tried to block it, so he scratched him right here on the shoulder, hit him right here on the shoulder, bam. But that's not what the call was. This dude needs to get it right where the target is. So they hit him again, bam, right there in the neck. Yeah. It happened just like he got hit in the neck, and he was leaking. And once they hit him in the neck, they bagged up. They wasn't trying to kill this dude, but they, did want to send a message that what he did would not be tolerated. Attacking a Hoover with a weapon, but that's not just the Hoovers. That is most gangs, probably not all, but most. If you stab one of their homies, then it's going up immediately. Once a weapon is involved, all bets are off. No one wants to talk about it. There's nothing to talk about. Once you use a weapon on one of their homeboys, it's over. It's a done deal. There's no excuse for it. Now, they were trying to make their excuse and say that this individual was high. He was. Just like he was in this situation when he got attacked. Nevertheless, it does not negate his indiscretions. He was not going to get away with it. Nevertheless, they had mercy, hit him, and bagged up. He's down there, he grabbed his neck, he leaking. He's like, cuz, yeah, cuz. You know what's up, man, what's up? You better just chill. You about to get creamed up in here, for real. So he wasn't moving. I mean, he could move, but he wasn't trying to get off the ground and make any move or act like he had a knife and was about to swing back. Because if he would have, I'm sure all four at that point would have got him. Everyone in there was ready. But he stayed right there. Once he stayed right there on the ground, just told him, bro, you got to get up out the module. You got to get your biatch ass up out the module, bro. Now. You got to get up out the module now. Straight like that. Almost get up out of his cell. Go back to our respective corners. Just waited to see if he was going to get himself out of the module. Because if not, then the next time it's not going to be so pretty for him. individuals are not going to take it light on him. And not only that, now everyone has to think, okay, well, what are his cohorts going to do? Are they going to respond, try to retaliate? Didn't dog him out, could have, but it's whatever. Y'all were hesitating, acting like y'all were not going to take care of it. So it had to be taken care of that way. Now, what's up? What's it going to be? Y'all got a problem with the way it was taken care of? We can go up. But truth is, they were not even tripping, to tell you the truth, the Crips, because they knew that Looney had stabbed the homie. And they knew that they were making excuses for him. And that it wasn't that, it wasn't not just going to be let go. Like, oh, okay, it's cool. He could just stay right here in the module with the homie still in the module too. No. So that's it. He didn't get dogged out, but he got cracked up a little bit. He left out leaking. He rolled it up. He left the module. He left that same day, like, I don't know, an hour or so later, he was gone. He was walking out of the module with his stuff packed up, had a big old shirt like covering up his wounds, clearly patched himself up apparently, and got up out of there. And this is what happens all the time. You'll patch yourself up so that you don't have to go to medical and be exposed that perhaps something happened to you or whatever. Sometimes individuals just patch themselves up. It happens all of the time behind those walls. He patched himself up and got up out of there. But that stuff, that Christina Aguilera, it has caused immense damage in those prisons and in the county jail, particularly at this time. As I said, a lot of individuals was off of this stuff and they were hallucinating, tripping, staying up for days at a time and getting themselves in immense trouble and in a lot of danger because they were confronting people. They were violent. They were hearing stuff that wasn't there. They were thinking people were saying things about them that they were not. They were paranoid. I'm talking about, I'm gonna bring you some stories about some of this stuff that was just out of this world when they got off of that stuff. But now, as we all know, they offer that K2 up in there. They all smoking that stuff. No better. I never touched it. I'm cool. That stuff is no good. That stuff gets you in trouble, and it can cost you your life. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you all for your support. I appreciate it. Stay safe and stay free, people.